The murder in Malabar, East Trinidad. Police say 34-year-old Kevin Griffith was shot and killed on Subaru Street, Malabar, shortly before 11 o'clock this morning. Griffith was near his Subaru Street home with two friends, Kevin George and Karen George, when a gold-colored Nissan Tita pulled up to them. A gunman got out of the car and opened fire. Griffith was hit multiple times, with Karen George was also shot in his left knee. Griffith died at the scene while George was taken to hospital. Police have no motive for the shooting. Some laws and policing measures must be employed to regulate the commercial banking sector in Trinidad and Tobago to protect customers from being at the mercy of illegal banking practices. This was the general message coming from the podium at this morning's banking conference hosted by the Couva Point Lisas Chamber, as the various speakers, including former Prime Minister Panday, said the system in its current operation is at best dangerous. Janine Brown reports.
Prefacing their arguments by clarifying the talks were not intended to bash the commercial banking sector, experts in the industry said at the same time conversations such as these must be had, as there are several unethical practices that plague the industry. Financial consultant Mr. Siriram said oftentimes customers are made to foot the bill for the bank's mismanagement of its affairs, which manifests in the form of increased rates and unnecessary service charges.
What is the easiest way to compensate for losses in certain activities in the bank? You increase the fees. So I could reduce my fees on certain things. You're crying about the payment for checks is too high. Okay, I'll reduce it from 8 to 7. And I could introduce an entry fee and an exit fee.
Among the distinguished guests at the chamber was former Prime Minister Panday, who shared his personal experience with such an occurrence. Mr. Panday, who established the Panday Foundation to offer aid to the destitute in society, said he was alarmed when he noticed funds from the organization's account were being deducted without him being notified.
I went to the bank and asked the manager by what authority they were taking out $30 a month out of monies used for helping poor people without my permission.
It's this type of action that Mr. Siriram is lobbying for, as he says consumers also have a responsibility to hold their banks accountable.
You all can get together and write a letter, cease and desist. Please do not do it. That is theft. It is unauthorized withdrawal from your accounts. Please cease and desist. And not only cease and desist, but go back at least 6 years and refund all those monies that you unlawfully took out.
But he says the conversation should not only stop at this level. He wants to see some sort of system set up where persons can lodge a complaint to a higher authority. Meanwhile, Independent Senator David Small said under the existing legislation, the central bank has the authority to place a fixed rate for charges and fees. He's calling on the central bank governor to enforce this arm of the law.
I understand that there will be some mechanics around that with communicating with the Minister of Finance and having a discussion, but my position is this: act as if you're seeking the interests of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Rather than say we have limited power, we have limited authority, make a decisive move and say, listen, we recognize the citizens are feeling the pain.
There's a total of 9 commercial banks operating in Trinidad and Tobago. Janine Brown, C News.